Well, after the shock death of Friends star Matthew Perry, new details are emerging on what will happen to his fortune.
Yeah, the actor died with no wife, no kids, raising questions about who may benefit from his millions. The stars of Friends reportedly draw in more than 30 million Australian dollars in residuals annually from the hit sitcom.
Matthew Perry was a familiar face to TV lovers worldwide, thanks to his iconic role as Chandler Bing on the hit sitcom Friends. Unfortunately, the actor passed away on October 28, 2023. Perry was found unconscious in a hot tub in his Los Angeles home.
Somebody kiss me, it's midnight! Somebody kiss me, it's midnight! It's one time! There. That was great.
Police had responded to a 911 call to assist with a possible water rescue at Matthew Perry's Pacific Palisades home. When the first responders arrived, they reportedly found the 54-year-old actor in his hot tub, unresponsive. He is believed to have drowned, but an autopsy and toxicology reports will be able to answer more questions about his true cause of death. Prescription antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications were reportedly found in Matthew Perry's home following his tragic death, although sources say that no illegal narcotics were discovered at the scene. Throughout his career, Perry battled with addiction to alcohol and prescription drugs. He was open about his issues with substance abuse, becoming an advocate for addiction recovery. Perry's passing came as a surprise to close friends and fans around the world. His witty one-liners on Friends, which ran for 10 seasons from 1994 to 2004, solidified Chandler as a fan favorite. Perry is survived by his mother, Suzanne Morrison, father, John Bennett Perry, stepfather, Dateline journalist Keith Morrison, and 5 half-siblings from his parents' second marriages. "We are heartbroken by the tragic loss of our beloved son and brother," the family said in a statement. "Matthew brought so much joy to the world, both as an actor and a friend. You all meant so much to him, and we appreciate the tremendous outpouring of love." Close friends and family members of Matthew Perry gathered for a memorial at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles' Hollywood Hills neighborhood. The memorial came just 6 days after the late actor was reportedly found unconscious in his hot tub. Friends co-stars Courtney Cox, Monica Geller-Bing, Jennifer Aniston, Rachel Green, David Schwimmer, Ross Geller, and Lisa Kudrow, Phoebe Buffay, were all spotted walking together to attend the apparent funeral. The cast of Friends started off their careers earning 5 figures per episode back in 1994, but that jumped up to 6 figures, with each star earning a staggering $1 million, £820,000, per episode by the final season. The quintet was also paid more than $2 million, £1.6 million, each for the hour-long reunion special in 2021. Each of the main cast members still earns $10, $20 million per year from the series, thanks to the show's immense popularity on streaming and cable. Matthew, who played Chandler Bing on the iconic sitcom, starred in a string of films and TV shows after Friends came to an end. Even while he was working on the show, Matthew landed roles on The West Wing, in which he was nominated for an Emmy, and starred in the 1997 romantic comedy Fools Rush In, raking in more than $1 million. He even managed to film the movie in between Season 2 and 3 of Friends. After a successful run on Friends, Matthew Perry continued to make waves in the entertainment industry. He appeared in various TV shows and movies, including The Whole 9 Yards and 17 Again. Perry also delved into writing and producing, working on TV series like Mr. Sunshine and The Odd Couple. With all these credits, it's no surprise that the actor-producer had amassed quite a fortune. His estimated net worth was a whopping $120 million. Now that the actor has passed away, questions are beginning to arise regarding Perry's huge financial fortune. The Emmy Award-nominated actor never married or had children, so his fortune remains relatively unaccounted for. Because he lived in California and had no spouse or children, his parents are next in line for his estate and earnings. After his parents, Perry's siblings would be next. Due to a heavy estate tax, with the current exemption being set at $12.92 million, a total of $107 million will still be subject to a tax of up to 40%, financial planners say. But that still leaves a substantial amount of money, even if he didn't specify where the fortune would go. Experts have shared thoughts on what is likely to happen to this massive wealth.
Where's it going? There's 3 options. The first one is, potentially he may have a trust. And that's the worst news for us because it means we're not going to learn anything. Trusts are private. He could also have a will. That is public knowledge. So we'll see. Who did he will his money to? Was it several people? We don't know. The third option, if he had no will and no trust, you know, California state law says it goes to the next of kin. And as you mentioned, he doesn't have a family, he doesn't have a wife or children, so that would be his parents. And then they would decide where that $120 million is distributed to.
There may be a trust, and that would be administered privately, through his trustee, a Los Angeles entertainment lawyer, Trey Lovell, explained. He could have had a will that would be administered under probate court supervision. If he had neither, there's a statutory framework put in place where there's a listing of his heirs that would get his estate. His parents would split his estate, Lovell continued, adding, his siblings would be next in line after the parents, but since both of his parents are living, they would get it. At this point, a probate case has not been filed with the Los Angeles County courts. In most cases, the next of kin would file a case to have it run through the courts and officially be determined as executor of his estate. It should be noted that Perry suffered a near-death experience due to his addiction to opiates. At the time, Matthew's business managers and lawyers most likely advised him to set up a trust and will, if he didn't have one yet. We are guessing he did. This is precisely why I forcefully encourage my clients, friends, and family to come up with even a basic estate plan. Robin Snell, the owner and chief of planning at Nested Financial. Also, according to Patty Esai, a financial literacy expert who runs the Duchess of Decorum TikTok channel, there are 4 distinct possibilities for what happens to Perry's fortune. He may have named beneficiaries for the residuals, retirement accounts, Esai told Newsweek. There may also be a trust, and that would be administered privately through his trustee. He could have a will, which would be administered under probate court supervision. If he had none of the above, state law dictates how his assets are distributed. Typically, when someone dies without any heirs or a will, the assets go through a legal process called intestacy, which is based on state-specific laws. It might go to distant relatives or, in some cases, to the state if no heirs are found. It's advisable to create a will to specify your preferences for asset distribution even if heirs don't exist, Snell said. Creating a trust can be important without heirs for several reasons, Snell said. A trust allows you to designate beneficiaries who may not be direct heirs, such as friends, charities, or organizations. This ensures that your assets go to individuals or causes you care about. By placing assets in a trust, they can be distributed more efficiently and privately, without the need for court involvement. Trusts can also help you avoid probate, which is a legal process that can be time-consuming, privacy-invading, and costly. Trusts generally enable you to control exactly how any assets will be managed and distributed, allowing you to specify detailed instructions on when and how beneficiaries will receive their inheritance. Los Angeles probate attorney Arash Sadat also broke down how the process will work, whether Perry left a will, trust, or no last wishes at all. Arash Sadat spoke about the potential future of Perry's estate. If Perry created some kind of estate plan, whether it be a trust or a will, then his assets would be distributed to whomever he named in those documents, Sadat explained. Since the actor didn't have a wife or children, without a trust or will set up, Perry's assets would go to his parents. In the case of trusts or wills, things can get tricky, even for those without millions at stake. Lawyer Arash Sadat explained that the least difficult way for Matthew Perry's fortune to be divided is if he designated a trust. If he had a trust, then his assets would be distributed per the terms of his trust, and without the need for approval or oversight in probate court, Sadat disclosed to Nikki Swift. This process would ensure that Perry's family could have a private distribution of assets. But if the numb actor didn't establish a trust, the division of his estate would not be so simple. If Perry left a will, the beneficiaries, that is, the people to whom he gifted his assets upon his death, would file a petition in probate court to have his estate distributed per the terms of the will, Sadat stated. Similarly, if Perry wasn't able to designate a will or trust before his unexpected passing, the splitting of his assets would still be left up to the probate court. Sadat also noted that in the case that Perry left a will or lack thereof, the splitting of his assets would become accessible. This would mean that all court documents such as titles, property deeds, and even Perry's bank balances would become public knowledge. Fans had mixed feelings. One said, "That has already been taken care of. A foundation was launched in his name on the day of his funeral to help addicts." Another said, "I believe that is a private thing with family." Another took the whole debate to heart. She said, "This is nobody business what will happen to Matthew's wealth. I wish this stupid media mind their bloody business." Let me know what you think, guys. Who do you think will get all this money? How do you think it will be shared? Do you think his family is going to be engaged in arguments over his money? Let us know in the comments. Check out this next video.